I think mine is going in and out.
Looking at three, because you're never going to probably look at one because it's going to be staring at you or you. But the red light means that's what camera it's on. So hopefully sometimes I'll point to it if he says ready so I know what camera it is.
All right, 30
and then
seconds.
I'll point to the camera you're supposed to be reading on. So I think he wanted to have it on 2 instead of 3 for Pop Shot. But I'll point it to you so you know.
Okay.
All right, we're going
All
for
right,
real
we're going.
seats.
All right, this is real deal. So we're going to have 15 seconds.
Hello, welcome to MTSU's How To. I'm Coach Hunter Christian, and today I want to introduce you to how to do proper reps for CrossFit movements. Here in just a few, I'll bring my guest Aaron Gonzalez to help demonstrate the movements as I explain the pros and cons of those movements. But before I do, you may have some questions like, what is CrossFit? Why is this relevant to my life? How can I get more involved? And can we just watch Netflix instead? So without further ado, check out this clip.
You haven't heard of CrossFit? Let me tell you about CrossFit.
CrossFit is a lifestyle in which you are prioritizing your health.
The ability to do many different things at a high level of intensity.
I think it's the absolute best way to help you reach your fitness goals.
For me, it's making me happy.
A fun way to get fit with log-mounted pipe.
The last person finishing is just as important as the first one.
It's this team atmosphere that ends up making you better as an individual. Camaraderie, that family that you end up building, and the energy that you get back from it yourself, that's CrossFit to me.
When you come to a CrossFit gym, everybody knows your name, everybody loves you, and you're a part of something bigger than just getting a workout.
CrossFit gave me that something extra that I kind of needed in life. It's my outlet. I love it.
It's my passion.
It's commitment.
CrossFit is a sport now.
I like the challenge. I compete with myself. I'm healthier. I am stronger.
Even though I was sore, I was, would get a little discouraged, I felt accountable to my community, or I felt accountable to my class because they were looking for me there.
Finding CrossFit and having to work really dang hard for whatever your goal is, whether it's to compete or just get a damn pull-up.
I love it because the workout's different every day. I can come in and I don't know what I'm doing.
Everyone is welcoming. Everyone is cheering you on. They don't let you quit, even if you want to quit.
We all share this experience, which is emotional. It doesn't look emotional. It looks like people working out, but it's emotional. I mean, it's raw. It's intense. It's incredible. It's freaking awesome. I'm gonna keep doing it for a long time, I hope.
CrossFit to me is a fitness program where the reward for doing well is the ability to express your fitness in everyday life in as many different planes or as many different activities that you can possibly imagine.
People walk through the door and say, hey, where's all the machines? Where are the machines?
Great, now that we have an idea of what CrossFit is, I want to dive into some of the movements of CrossFit. But before I do, let me introduce you to my guest and demonstrator today, Aaron Gonzalez. Aaron, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing great. That's good to hear, Aaron. I want to ask you a few questions before we get started so our audience knows a little bit more about your background. And so, Aaron, where are you from?
So I'm originally from California, but I'm living in Livingston, Tennessee right now.
So, Aaron, how did you hear about CrossFit and how did you get started in your CrossFit journey?
So I kind of just heard about the gym just because I lived in the area, and then my brothers started, and then they just roped me along with it. They brought me in, and that's really what started me in CrossFit, was just them making me go with them. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So how involved with CrossFit are you?
I'm pretty involved. I'm a coach at my gym. I'm there 24/7, and if I'm not there, I'll be doing competitions and stuff like that. So I think I'm pretty involved. I love it. It's pretty much my whole life.
So would you say that you're a pretty exceptional athlete? Like, where would you rank yourself in the CrossFit world?
Oh, I don't know how good I am, but I mean, I can hold my own in some workouts. I still have lots of improvement, but I think I'm getting there.
Could you explain the difference between like an RX athlete, a scaled athlete, and let's say an elite athlete?
Yeah, so your scaled athletes are typically your athletes that just started, or maybe they're just doing it for just fitness, just to get healthy and just for fun. You have your RX athletes that probably been doing it for a little while longer, starting to learn more movements, can do more of the movements in CrossFit than just your typical base level movements. And then your elite athletes, I would say, someone who like has mastered pretty much a lot of the movements and just does it for competition, a little more competitive, definitely more higher advanced than your scaled athletes.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great explanation of CrossFit. So now that our audience knows a little bit more about you and a little bit more about CrossFit, let's dive into some of the CrossFit movements for today. As a coach, I'm going to talk through some of the movements as Aaron demonstrates the movements, and we'll cover the good reps, the bad reps, how that we can improve upon these reps. So the first couple of movements that we want to talk about today are the sit-ups, air squats, box step-ups, and everyone's favorite, the burpee. We're going to meet you on the workout floor so you can check out these movements beforehand so you have an idea of what's going to be going on before we get started. Welcome back. For the workout movements today, all you'll need is yourself, your body weight, and a box that's about 24 inches high. So let's go ahead and get started. The first movement that we're going to go over today is the sit-up. So this is John. John is going to show us the sit-up. So John, if you would go ahead and sit down on the ground, go ahead and butterfly your feet. So what John is going to do here, he's going to put his feet together in a butterfly position. He's going to start at the top here, and then he's going to go ahead and descend down. He's going to take his hands back behind him, touch the ground, and then he's going to engage his core and throw his hands. And then the end of this movement is going to end with his shoulders above his hips. So if he does not get his spine neutral and his shoulders right above his hips, it would be considered a no rep. He's going to touch his feet at the top, and then he would go back down into that next rep there. Okay, so John, show me maybe a bad rep where you don't go all the way to the top. That would be considered a no rep. So see here that his shoulders are back behind his hips. This would be considered a no rep. So for him to get that entire rep and for that rep to count, he needs to get his shoulders all the way up. So he's going to descend down, touch the ground, come all the way up. Let's get those shoulders over the hips and touch the feet at the top, okay? So if he wants to complete this movement with efficiency and be quick, he's going to try to do this as quickly as possible while engaging the core, but not cheating the movement. So what he's going to do is go down quickly, touch the ground, fire those hips and core, throw the arms, touch the feet at the top. That is the sit-up movement there. Next, we're going to go into the air squat. So the air squat is one of the basic movements of CrossFit. You're going to squat in many different of the movements that we do. So John, this position you want to start in for the air squat, you're going to be about shoulder width apart. He's going to slightly turn out his toes, and then this rep is going to start in full hip extension, knee extension, and as he starts this movement, he's going to send his butt back and down. He's going to track his knees out with his toes. He's going to do his best to keep this neutral spine position. So if you turn to the camera here where they can see you, go ahead and turn and face this direction. Yep. So go ahead, send that butt back and down. We want to see his hip crease below his knee crease. That is going to be considered a full, complete rep. And then as he stands up at the top, he's going to extend his hips. He's going to extend his knees. That will complete the rep for the air squat. Okay, so just some things to watch for. Let's do a rep where you really lean over forward. Don't keep that neutral spine, that lumbar curve there. So give us a bad rep here. So see here, his shoulders are way out in front. This could be due to a lack of mobility. This could be due to some other reasons. He would want to work on his proper position, really fight those shoulder blades back, that neutral spine, and then go ahead and stand back up for me. Okay. Another thing that you could see in the air squat you want to look for is give me a rep where you don't go all the way down below parallel. Okay, so see here, this would be considered a no rep because he's not getting his hips below his knee crease. All right, and then one other thing to look for in the CrossFit movement here of the air squat is he could not be extending all the way at the top. So go get good depth here, but don't stand all the way to the top and then go back down. Okay, this is kind of cheating the movement, not getting the full range of motion on the air squat. All right, so let's do, let me get 5 good air squats, full hip extension, full squat depth. Good. Okay, his knees are tracking out with his toes, his hips are getting below his knee crease, he's standing all the way at the top, he's moving nice and efficient, he's keeping a nice lumbar curve there. So the next movement is going to be the box step up. So we're going to transition over here to the box. Okay, so you're a guy, so let's go ahead and move this up to a 24-inch box here. So the box step up, he's going to just be facing the box. He's going to step up either foot first, go ahead and step up. He's going to make sure when he steps that his knee is not caving in. His knee is going to be tracking out with his toes as best as possible. He's then going to bring his other foot on top of the box. And to complete this movement, we want to see knee extension and we want to see hip extension. Okay? Then he can step off the box. In the next rep, he will lead with his opposite foot. Okay? So left foot this time and then step back down. Okay? Now let's go over a couple bad reps here. Maybe you don't extend all the way at the top. You kind of cheat the reps. So give me a couple bad reps. Okay, see John here. He's not standing all the way at the top. This would be considered a no rep in CrossFit. Okay. Now, if we want to work on efficiency and being quick, you know, a lot of times we're doing high reps. We're trying to get it done as quickly as possible. One thing that you can do, since it is alternating most of the time, is if he steps up with his right foot, and he steps up with his left, extends. We want to step down with that same foot that we came up with, and then he can just tap this other foot on the ground and go right back up. Okay? So it's kind of a continuous motion. Step, tap, step back up, extend, good. Okay? That is the box step up. And then lastly here, we're going to go over everybody's favorite movement, the burpee. So the burpee is going to start at the top. Go ahead and face camera right here. So the burpee, he's going to go into a plank push-up position, jump his feet backwards as he does that. So go ahead and place your hands on the ground, jump back. He's going to drop his thigh and his chest to the ground. Okay? Now, from here, making sure we're getting all the way down to the ground, he's going to push up and hop up with his feet towards his hands, and then at the top of this rep, he's going to extend his hips, and he's going to come off the ground and clap at the top. Okay, that's going to complete the full rep and the full range of motion for the burpee. Okay, now you don't have to, depending on your skill level, you don't have to jump back. Show us what it would look like to step back, maybe if lower level athlete, if you need to step back and step up, you could do that as well, and then we're still going to jump at the top with his knees and hips extended, feet get off the ground, we see a little air there, and then he's clapping at the top. Okay. Now let's look at some bad reps. So maybe don't go chest to the ground and you don't come all the way up at the top. So let's see a couple bad reps here. So notice John, he never gets his chest and his thighs to the ground. At the top, he's not extending all the way at the top. His feet didn't come off the ground. So in order for this rep to count, we need to make sure that he's getting all the way down to the ground. So let's go back down. Okay, thighs and chest are on the ground. He comes up. He comes off the ground. Hands clap above the head. Hips are extended at the top. So let's do 5 good reps of the burpee. Good. So he's being efficient here, dropping down quickly, standing all the way up at the top, getting that nice movement. Awesome, amazing, John. Now, we're going to go to a break, and when we come back, we'll grab a barbell, and we'll do some more CrossFit movements, so go ahead and stick around.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
We all play a role in keeping our community safe.
Every day, we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good, others not so much.
But that's life.
It's when something doesn't seem quite right
that it's time to pay attention.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
For the next CrossFit movements that we go over, you will need a barbell, some weights. If you're a female, the barbell is going to be a 35-pound barbell. If you're a male, it's going to be a 45-pound barbell. And the weight can vary depending on your skill set. So let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to go over the snatch. So for the snatch, Aaron is our demonstrator here. He's going to put his feet about hip width apart. Okay, if you were going to try to jump as high as you can, that's about where you want your feet. Now in the snatch, we want to have a nice wide grip. Our grip is going to be, if this barbell was at the top here with our arms extended, that bar would be sitting right across our hip pocket. Okay, so Aaron, let's go ahead and get down into the starting position. So he's got a nice wide grip. He's got a nice flat back. Okay, his hamstrings are engaged here. His shoulders are right slightly in front of the bar. Now, when we initiate this movement, what we don't want to do is try to yank that barbell off the ground. We want to be smooth, okay? We want our hips and our shoulders to rise at the same rate. So let me go ahead and get you to stand up to the deadlift position, okay? So this bar path is staying close to his body. His shoulders and hips are rising at the same rate. And that bar is just sliding right up his knees, okay? Right up his shins. His knees should naturally get out of the way of that bar as he rises, okay? So let's go back down to the bottom. This time, Aaron, we're going to add the extension of the hips and the ankles and get into triple extension with a nice shrug here, okay? So we're going to go over this next position. He's going to do the same movement, rise up, shrug the shoulders. Good, okay? So that's the second part of the snatch there. This time you're gonna add a nice high pull. So he's gonna pull this barbell up and back. Go ahead and do that. Nice high pull. Okay, each one of these are building off of each other, okay? And then this time, let's go ahead and do a power snatch. So this time he's gonna catch it in a half squat here. So the snatch is one motion from ground to overhead that we're getting that barbell overhead. Okay, Aaron's being nice and efficient. His hips and shoulders are rising at the same rate. He's keeping that bar in one nice straight path. Okay, Aaron, let's go ahead and turn that barbell sideways so that the audience can see us a little better here. Okay, so let's do a full snatch this time. A full snatch is going to be where Aaron is going to catch this down all the way in a full squat position, and then he's going to stand that barbell up to complete the rep. Okay, so just like we talked about before, shoulder slightly in front of the bar, nice flat back. Okay, Aaron's going to catch that in an overhead squat and then stand it all the way up, and then he'll go back down. Okay, Aaron, show me a rep where maybe you don't get into full depth on the catch. Okay, so this could be something to look for, not getting full range of motion. If he were to go into this would be a good power snatch, but it would not be a good full snatch. Okay, good. All right, so let's knock out a couple touch and go full snatches here. See how that looks. Okay, so he's going to stand all the way up. He'll go back down into the same position. Good. Awesome. That is your snatch movement. Okay, next we're going to go over the power clean. Okay, power clean is going to be a similar setup. His hips might be slightly higher than they were in the snatch at the start. His hands are now going to be more in a deadlift position. Okay, so his hands are going to be right outside of his knees. He's still going to have his feet right underneath his hips. Okay, same thing here. The initial movement, we need the hips and the shoulders rising at the same rate. Okay, so Aaron, let's go ahead and do something similar to we did with the snatch. Let's go ahead and do a snatch or a clean pull, getting into triple extension. Good. Shrugging the shoulders. Okay. Notice how Aaron is coming up on his toes. Triple extension means that he is getting his ankles, his knees, and his hips all extended at the same time. Okay. He's not going to bend his arms until after he high pulls, and then he's going to quickly shoot those elbows through for the power clean. All right. So let's add a high pull this time. Okay. Bar stays nice and tight. He's pulling up and back with his arms, okay, like he's elbowing somebody behind him. He's getting in nice triple extension, okay? And then we're going to put all this together, and to complete this rep, Aaron is going to shoot his elbows through quickly. He's going to catch it in a quarter squat, and then he's going to stand the barbell up to full extension, okay? Notice how he quickly shot his elbows. These elbows are facing forward. He's got a nice front rack position. He stood all the way up at the top, okay? Good. So let's knock out a couple good power clean reps here. Good. Stand all the way up. Hips and shoulders are rising at the same rate. Elbows are quickly shooting through. Good. That is your power clean. Next, we're going to go over the overhead squat. Okay, so the overhead squat is going to be a similar starting position as the snatch. We'll actually have to snatch that barbell up overhead to get into the starting position for the overhead squat. So let's go ahead and knock out a power snatch. So Aaron's going to snatch this barbell up to the top. This is where he's going to start his overhead squat. Okay, from here, Aaron wants to be pressing up against that bar. Okay, he's having active shoulders. All right, his armpits are facing forward. As he starts this movement, his feet are now going to be about shoulder width apart, same as the squat position we were in earlier. All right, he's going to send his butt back and down. Knees are tracking out with his toes. He's going to get nice depth and stand all the way up. Okay, this entire time he's going to be fighting for a nice straight back position there, nice lumbar curve. He's getting good squat depth with his hips below his knees. Okay, you can go ahead and put that barbell down. That is your overhead squat. Now, Aaron, show me a couple bad reps where maybe that bar begins to fall forward. You don't keep that bar path right over the center of the foot, and that's going to lead to him dumping that barbell forward and not be able to complete that rep. Okay? So notice how his bar comes forward, he loses that position, and then he's not able to complete the overhead squat. Okay, so let's knock out, let me get 3 or 4 good overhead squats here. Good. Standing all the way up at the top to complete that rep. His hips and knees are extended. Good. That is your overhead squat. The overhead squat is going to transition well into the snatch. It's going to help you with your mobility and a lot of different movements. And then lastly here, our last barbell movement that we're going to go over is the deadlift. Okay, the deadlift, once again, we're going to start with our feet about hip width apart. Our hands are going to be similar to the power clean position right outside of our knees. Okay, now in the deadlift, Aaron's going to start slightly higher hips. He's going to try to load his hamstrings. It's like you're loading a rubber band. Okay, he wants to get those nice and active hamstrings. As he rises off the ground, he wants to keep his shoulders and his hips rising at the same rate. Okay, this barbell is going to stay in one straight path. Good. Go back down. This time, let me just get you to go from mid-shin to the knee. Okay, all I want to see here is the same back position that he's in now. Notice his shoulders are just slightly in front of that bar. His back position should not change going to the knee. Okay, just go to the knee there. Good. Hips and shoulders are rising at the same rate. He still has that same back position. Now, once he gets to the knee, what he's going to do is he's going to squeeze his butt and extend those hips to full hip extension. Okay? So go ahead and give me a full deadlift here. Once he gets past his knees, he's squeezing his butt, standing all the way up at the top. Good. All right, Aaron, let me see a couple of bad reps. Maybe you don't get full hip extension. Don't go all the way up to the top. Okay, notice how he never gets all the way up. His hips aren't extended. His knees aren't fully extended. His back position is not, it's not nice and flat like we want to see it. That would be considered a no rep. Notice how his shoulders are kind of caving in. That's going to be a position that you might get injured with. So we want to keep a nice flat back, standing all the way up at the top, driving through those heels in that position. Okay, that is 4 nice CrossFit movements with the barbell. We hope that that was helpful for you. And now we're going to move on to our next portion. You are now ready to start your CrossFit journey with these basic movements. We've gone over the sit-up, the air squats, box step-ups, burpees, the snatch, power clean, the overhead squat, and the deadlift. And make sure there are plenty of space around you if you're performing these movements. If you're interested in learning more about these CrossFit movements, you can go to www.crossfitmovements.com. Thanks for joining us on MTSU's How To. I'm Coach Hunter.
And I'm Aaron Gonzalez, and you all take care. And tune in next time for some more MTSU's How To.